everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be reviewing these new lip products from Etude. These are their color lasting glow sticks. So they came out with 6 shades and I did get all of them. This is in a collaboration with Rise. As part of promotion, they also do include photo cards. I believe these are photo cards. The packaging is really beautiful. Gradient type of body. It has a very luxurious type of packaging similar to Dior. Very small and petite type of packaging, very sturdy as well. So a little bit about this product. It claims to have a good stain. Gives you a clear and transparent type of finish. Sort of that glass-like look, and it also has really good pigmentation, so it can go from like very sheer to very pigmented and full look type of color. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so starting off we have the shade number 1, Roseberry. This is a cool winter clear shade. This is one of their best shades. As the name says, you have this roseberry shade. It does smell like a berry shade, and the more that you apply, the more rosy I'm guessing it's going to look. On the lips up close, you are going to see more of a berry shade. It does look quite similar to the hand swatch, not necessarily the promotional pictures because it looks more like a full lick. It does seem to have a little bit of a fuchsia undertone, but it's quite subtle, so you sort of have a fuchsia berry type of color. This shade actually looks a lot better than I thought. The hand swatch looked a little bit too dark and bright, but I'm assuming it is going to be the more that you apply. A lot of these shades did look really pigmented and bright, so I think overall I'm going to like the gradients look more because it's very sheer and very pigmented, so a little does go a long way. Very easy to create a gradient look because it does apply quite sheer and then you can build up the color. So for the finish, you can sort of see this tanghuru candy like a gloss finish, a very glazed like gloss finish. It doesn't necessarily fill in the wrinkles of your lips, but it does give a nice juicy pout. Doesn't seem to moisturize my lips as well, so definitely do prep your lips well beforehand. It's not super drying, but it's also not super moisturizing. This also is supposed to have that transparent glass-like gloss finish, so it does have a little bit of that finish. It gives that semi-sheer transparent type of gloss finish. Glide on your lips really smoothly because it has a melting like formula. It's good, but at the same time, if you put this product in a really hot place or it's in the car in a hot summer day, this product might melt. So also see that I didn't even apply my lips yet and it was already melting already on the edges of the corner here in the packaging, so it does melt really easily and it might get a little bit messy. Other than that, once you do apply it on your lips, it does blur and blend really well on the lips. It's a very beautiful gradients look. It does have a semi-even application. I do find that it looks a little bit blotchy, especially in the corners, like especially in the wrinkles of my lips. It looks a little bit darker there, but overall the gloss looks pretty good. It has this crystal-like gloss finish. For the formula, it has this buttery-like formula when you apply on your lips, but once it settles, it has like this semi-balm-like type of texture, sort of like when you exfoliate your lips with sugar and then kind of leaves that balmy type of texture. In my opinion, it's not waxy, it's not buttery, but it's kind of feels like the outside texture of a lollipop. It doesn't have a gel or oil-like formula, at least for the gradients look, but it does feel a little bit more semi-matte. This one is quite subtle, but it does seem to have a little bit of a clay-like scent. So now we have the full. It looks a lot closer to the promotional pictures. Again, you're gonna have this very red color. It's semi-brightening, but it does go a few shades darker, and it's semi-mute. A little bit more even for the full look, but again, it is going to seep within the wrinkles of your lips, so up close there can be a little bit of unevenness. For me personally, I'm not really a big fan of the finish and the formula. I think because of the unevenness within the wrinkles of the lips, the finish looks a little bit awkward, if that makes sense. Maybe because it's accentuating the wrinkles of my lips, it kind of makes me look older or has this like old vibe to it, if that makes sense. The finish is just not as seamless as I would like it to be. Not a bad thing, but maybe it's just something that I'm not used to or that I do not prefer. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do the transfer test. There wasn't much of a stain on the hand swatch, but I'm guessing the more that you wear, the better the stain. We'll see. Okay, so there seems to be a little bit of a stain. It looks a little bit closer to the gradient slick, but honestly, I probably wouldn't rely 100% on the stain because it does wash off easily with water. It doesn't turn red, however. Alright, next up we have shade number 2, Forever Ruby, and this is a warm spring clear shade. In the promotional picture, it seems to have sort of this coral orange undertone. On the lips, however, it does seem to be quite subtle, especially for the gradients look. A lot of these promotional pictures seems to be the full look. So I have this coral peach color. It's very beautiful and flattering for my skin tone, which is natural beige. And I am more towards being a spring slash soft fall type of season, so a little bit more towards my palette. On the hand swatch, this shade also look quite rosy, so we'll have to see for the full look, but for the gradients, I used to have this soft coral rosy shade. So this is a full look for number 2, Forever Ruby. Very, very different from the promotional pictures. Overall, it's going to look like a pink rosy shade with a little bit of an orange undertone. And again, I do prefer the gradients. Again, the orange is quite subtle. It's going to look more like a fuchsia red color for some reason. It's a very bright and vibrant color as well. I wish it would have looked a little bit closer to the promotional pictures because it looks amazing. Next up, this is shade number 3, Jealous Red. It's a warm autumn deep shade. I have this classic chili red or cherry red type of color. Very flattering and beautiful shade. It does have a little bit of a pink undertone. For our red shade, it's actually not too warm, but we'll have to see for the full look. So now for the full look, we have another red shade. A lot of these do look quite similar to each other, just a difference in their base color. This one seems to have more of a warm pink red color to it, so it's a rosy pink red type of color. If you do prefer more of a pink base for your red shades, I recommend this. It does look a little bit similar to the promotional pictures up close, but from far away you are going to see more of a rosy, you are going to see more of a red color similar to the hand swatch that they have in their promotional pictures. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this kind of formula. It feels a little bit lightweight, but it has like a semi-oil like formula. However, it's not moisturizing, it's only on the surface. On the lips, you will be able to feel the texture of your lips, so it doesn't give much of a smooth surface. Next up, we have number 4, Pink Wish. This is a warm autumn nude shade. Surprisingly, it's a warm tone shade. It looks a little bit cool tone, like sort of this light bubblegum pink color, but it is warm tone, so maybe it does have a little bit of a beige undertone. Very flattering shade color, does look quite similar to the promotional pictures. Like a light shade like this looks really good in this type of formula and finish. So this is a full look. Compared to the promotional pictures, looks a little bit similar, probably a little bit more mute. Very beautiful and flattering shade. So far, this is probably my favorite shade. As you can see, there's a little bit of a stain left, but it did transfer quite a lot. Alright, next up we have number 5, Honey Beige. This is a warm autumn deep shade, another of their best shades. This also is not too warm tone. You sort of have this pink brown shade, and in the promotional picture it seems to have a little bit of like an orange cinnamon, like a cinnamon brown type of color, but I'm not picking up any of that from the lip swatch. It looks more like a pink brown shade. Very MLB, very flattering. So for the full look, we have a more deep and pigmented shade. It builds up very nice. The more they apply, the more darker it's going to get, the more mute it's going to get. And it looks very, very different from the promotional pictures. There's no cinnamon brown or orange in this whatsoever. This is a cool winter dark shade. It kind of reminds me of Black Honey, sort of this cherry black color. This is actually quite mute, even for the gradients look. For the full look now, it's a lot darker. You have a purple black shade. Very, very different from the promotional pictures as well. Yeah, very grape-like black color. Really beautiful. It can be a little bit difficult because of the darker shade to even out. Alright, let's do right in for an outro lip. I'm gonna go in with Pink Wish. This kind of reminds me of Peach Honeybee. I'm gonna go in with Honey Beige. It's also warm toned. And that is the final combination look for the intro and outro video. Alright guys, so my final review of these products, I think the pigmentation is probably the biggest advantage of these. It has a very nice sheer application, but you can also build it up to make it very deep. to make it a darker shade. The first 3 shades still look really rosy, and they just had they looked really similar to each other, but just a difference in their base color. And I think I would have liked to see a little bit more variety. The last 2 shades looked more different from one another. They were very beautiful shades. My favorite pick today would probably be number 4 Pink Wish, 5 Honey Beige, and 6 Twilight Mauve. A lot of shades, but if I were to choose out of these 3, I would say number 4 Pink Wish. But the formula has a very nice glossy candy-like glazed gloss finish, but it's not super moisturizing, and also my lips do feel a little bit grindy. So I'm not really a big fan of that. It kind of reminds me of their previous lip balms as well. And I was a little bit disappointed that there wasn't much of a stain, because they do advertise it to have a good stain. Also, the stain washes away really quickly with water. I didn't find the finish flattering for the red shades, but for the last 3 shades, especially for the neutral shade like Honey Beige, I think it looks a little bit better. Or for lighter shades, Twilight Mauve, you can have a little bit of unevenness, but once you blur and blend it out, it looks pretty good. It does feel quite dry once it's dried up or you've blotted it from your lips. Finish kind of accentuates the wrinkles of the lips, so it's not really my type of glossy finish, but it's doable if you like that crystal like gloss finish.